What are winter salad greens? In the winter in Britain, we can have lots of frost every day. You will see the vegetables and the trees and the ground and everything that you can imagine is covered in ice. Then the sun rises and the ice melts. This can be very stressful to normal non-resistant heat-loving plants, and they will not survive those conditions. So if you want to have any crop in the winter, anything to eat in the winter from your allotment, from your garden, you have to go for resistant varieties, frost resistant, so they can survive the frost and then defrostation. So there are certain herbs, greens and vegetables that can do it. In Britain, most people go for just things like brassicas, cabbages and other things that they are built for to be resistant to the frost and cold. Unfortunately, you cannot just eat every day cabbages and brassicas just for the sake of to use as a green for salad. You can use limited amount, but the best way for that is to go for some salad greens which are resistant. The likes of Persian cress, rocket, spinach, oriental leaves. I will talk about it in detail more. Some other form of cress, and things like all kind of varieties of rocket, and of course vegetables such as radishes, which you can eat both the root and the leaves. One of the well-known varieties of the salad greens are a group of brassicas, which are not as chunky as the normal brassicas are. These are called oriental leaves. They can be mizuna, pak choi, mustard, freely mustard, and such things. I usually buy my oriental leaves from the C&S Seeds. There's a seed merchant in the UK. They give very good value for money. With a little amount of money, you get lots of seed. Probably enough for filling a farm. Definitely enough for several years for an allotment. And one of the best salad greens, winter salad greens that I know, is Persian cress. It's the third year I'm growing it. I used to eat a lot when I was a kid. It's available only winter in the Middle East, in Iran especially. But in the UK, only C&S Seeds sell this. And yeah, good point if you want to invest in salad greens. Start it with Persian cress. This September we had a very good late summer and early autumn, and it was warm enough that the seeds could germinate. And these Persian cress and oriental leaves are now well placed to survive the colder conditions and the conditions that the light level will fall quickly. Nowadays the sun sets around 6:30 or earlier even. And by having these salad greens, I have every day something to do in the allotment. I come here, weed a little bit of between the rows, harvest a few leaves. The thing is that with the salads, you don't cut the whole plant. You cut a few leaves from each plant, so the plant will survive. It gives you more leaves during the winter. If you cut the whole plant, that's it, the whole plant is gone. You have a few leaves. But if you let the plant live, just have a little bit every time, a few leaves, the result will be really astounding. It can last up to May here. And you use them in salad, you can chop them, you can eat them whole, you can mix them with anything. They're very good for eating with your food, or putting in sandwiches if you want. Oriental leaves also are good. They're brassica. They're not as tasty as the Persian cress, but they're yet good, and they survive the frost. So really good for resistant to the frost. And as you see, now we have dew, early morning hours, and the plants are covered in dew. In the colder months, this dew will change to frost, and everything will be white. So the best thing that you can do is to choose the plants that actually are adapted for these cold conditions. The summer was so good that I tried to create other beds and just have more salad leaves as the last crop, as the last sowing of the year, just to let the allotment be productive as much as I can. And as you see, I have done it here also. Row after row of salad leaves. That will be enough, God willing, for all winter. I have to cover that part, which I noticed that the birds are eating it. Something was pecking on it, so I have to cover that part. But eventually this will be all covered. Although I've noticed that the birds don't like to peck on this, but who knows? When nothing else is available, they may just come for this also.